What's up, gang? I'm taking a moment, and for once I am not in complete darkness while I'm filming a video, so kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm taking a moment. I found a really nice spot to watch the sunset, and it's so beautiful right now. Like, oh my god, the clouds are so blue, and I can see all the mountains and how like the mountain peaks go into the clouds, and like the lakes and how it's reflecting the sky, and how the sun is just like this bright ball of like gold. It's just shining through the clouds. It's a very pretty spot up here too. I really like this spot. It's called the Bee in Bountiful. It's like just doxing myself out here, but anyway, I don't really feel a need to protect that information, even if I possibly should, because I'm putting this out on the internet. That's fine. I just feel very protected as well. I just feel like the divine really protects me, honestly. And I have not really, like, it used to be from like every single day feeling just always drained no matter what, and it was like I would just kind of always carry that with me. And then whenever I'd find like a moment of silence or like stillness, it would just kind of all hit me, and I'd really feel that exhaustion. But lately, I just like, even with like things that would have normally exhausted me in the past, like I just don't feel as exhausted anymore. Like I don't know, I just feel like super in alignment lately, and I don't really feel like I'm in pain as much. Like I don't get frustrated at people, and I don't have to like, I've honestly just released a lot of those expectations that I've had of like being seen, but not only like my pain and like the darkness being seen, but also like the light being seen. And I feel like a lot of my journey right now is kind of learning to retreat into my own soul, and even having my spirit affirm the ego in the sense that I need when I'm not able to get that validation from other people. But I'm very lucky as to have like 3 people in my life currently that I'm very close with, that I feel that I can be open about my experiences and be myself authentically. I mean, it's weird because I have talked about this, and I think probably a couple of other videos are just like, I thought it would honestly be a lot harder for me to like because I was thinking integration is what I was thinking when I was like, okay, this is just like being me, like wholeheartedly. And I was gonna think that it was gonna take time, that it was gonna have to take some adjustments. Like, yes, adjustment, but more on like the consequences of the reality and how they play out, rather than like me, like, I mean, I guess it is adjustment, right? But it's also just the way that I approach it, and the way that like I kind of frame it and interpret what's happening. But like, no, it's so like not easy. I wouldn't say easy, but it's just like this weight has been lifted off of me since I've just started to be myself authentically and wholeheartedly, and just not shying away from myself, not shying away from my own power and my own voice, and not shrinking anymore. And it's just like, wow. And it also makes me not really feel guilty. It's kind of releasing this obligation that I feel in certain relationships to play a certain part, to continue to entertain them, to continue to interact with them. And I just don't really feel guilty about it. I'm just like, this is what, like, I've talked with spirit about this, especially my tarot cards. It was like, the pattern that you need to look out for right now is people, like, is family, community, friends, whatever, and reframing and like saying like, hey, you can rise above this, in a sense, like not above them, but like, you don't have to continue to play this role, like entertain whatever, in order to keep these relationships, because that's not being true to yourself. And I was like, damn. So I just realized like I really don't have to continue to do that if it's like not right, you know. And it's just interesting because I had an experience, and I'm sharing this on YouTube because I know that my family's not going to watch it, but my aunt, she like, so like I came upstairs, like I can't remember exactly, oh right, it was right after my tarot video actually, so kind of crazy. But I came upstairs and I was getting some food because I was hungry, and I was like, I need to have some fuel after that tarot reading. And so I went upstairs to get some food, and my uncle was sitting on the couch on his phone, and it's like super late, like super late. And I was like, why is he still up? Like, he has work really early in the morning. So, he's done that a few times or whatever, but like, I just felt the need to go and sit by him. And so I came and sat by him, and I was like, why are you still up? And he's like, oh, I'm just thinking a lot. He's like, I just have a lot on my mind and stuff like that. And I was like, well, if you'd like to talk about it, like, I'm here to talk about it. And he's like, I just don't really feel like there's much to talk about it, you know. And yeah, it's just work. I work, stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I get it. And I was like, but I can help to have that space where you can just speak freely, right? And as I was literally saying that, my aunt came out into the living room and was like, what are you guys doing up? Like, oh my god, I thought I was hearing voices and I was going crazy or something. I don't know. And I was like, we were just talking, right? And so Zach, my uncle, he like literally left to go into the bedroom with her, and I was like, well, I just got that sign from my tarot reading to protect myself and my energy, especially in terms of family. And it felt like, honestly, I was like, damn, like, it was in that moment I realized, I was like, maybe spirit is protecting me from that, like, literally what just happened. And it was just an interesting moment. But yeah, and then I literally got home last night at like 5:30 a.m. So I woke up at like, I still woke up at 1:30 p.m. because I'm trying to have that be my normal schedule, not sleep in later than that, which is progress. It's progress, even if it's not like monumental, like I'm going to bed super early, whatever. It's progress, and I don't really feel like that shame or resistance anymore with my sleeping schedule as much. And I also just think that like I want to eventually get to a sleeping schedule that's more tailored to me, that like can also realistically support my lifestyle, my alignment, because right now I know that my sleeping schedule is not ideal, but I feel particularly very, very drawn to the moon and to nighttime because a lot of that feminine energy, and that's also why I named my like spirit, or like my higher version of self, who's very like in tune, who's very connected to the divine and God, is Mahina, the goddess of the moon, because that is when I feel most like creatively in tune. That is when I can either feel most energetically charged or at most peace and everything like that. And so it's just like honoring that and allowing myself to be like, okay, this is honestly what works best for me. It's like obviously not going to bed at like 5 a.m, but like staying up late, because that's when I feel most me, you know, and most at peace, or most, you know, in a good flow or good rhythm. But yeah, anyway, and so yeah, I stayed up super late last night. Like 5:30 a.m. is literally when I got home, so I probably fell asleep at like 6 or something. I actually got in the shower, so maybe a little bit later than that, but it was because I was hanging out with one of my best friends. His name is David. I love you, David, so much. David is like, it's so funny. The story that we met is we would like exchange poems on Instagram and stuff like that, and then one day, like, I saw that he posted, and he was like, I am stranded at a bus stop in Sandy, I think it was, or West, I don't know exactly where, but he's like, I'm stranded and no one can come pick me up. And I was like, where are you? Like, let me come pick you up, because that's just who I am. I'm like, if someone's whatever, like, that's always who I've been, who I'm trying to step into more, especially to be more Christ-like, right? And so I was like, let me come pick you up. This was a while ago. This was like last summer or something like that. Probably around like September, October-ish. October, I don't know, somewhere around there. But I went and picked him up. I drove him home, and he didn't want to go home. So he thought it would be funny if he stole my vape and my phone, and I was like, what the fuck? And I thought he was being serious, because I was like, never met this guy before. And so I literally had to wrestle it from him, like, to get my stuff back, because he was like not taking me seriously, that I was like actually upset about this. No. Whoa. So I stopped talking to him for a while because I was just upset about that. I was like, why would you do that? And then when we actually got back in contact, because he was just in an incredibly low place, and he kind of has been for a while, but like just really struggling and stuff like that, and I was like, let me be there for you. And then ever since then, we've just been really good friends. Like, and it's interesting too, because even with everything that he goes through, whenever I'm around him, like, he does not drain me unless I'm already drained and I'm not able to meet him with that level of presence that's required in order to have that energy exchange. Like, I don't really feel drained. Like, even then, I just like feel like I don't have to perform or pretend around him, and we always have a good time together. Like, he's just funny, silly guy. But yeah, we had a good time last night, and it was really fun. And I just felt like I was also allowing myself to fall into the rhythm of being my childlike self. So like running around in the sprinklers and looking at pretty things and trying new things like skateboarding. But so today my intention was to kind of like cleanse my energy and recharge. Even though I'm not really feeling drained, I was like, I did a tarot reading on him last night, I did my own, and then talking with Oni and stuff like that. And so, well, that wasn't the original plan, but I was like, I would like to recharge, cleanse my energy, especially with everything that's coming up. What I feel like my life is currently is just a huge stage of preparation for everything that's to come, and making sure that I'm really honoring my alignment. Also, the sun is sinking lower, and so the yellow that's like painted across the sky is becoming more of like a rose amber hue, and then like the sun is just like, ooh, oh my god, it's just lighting up these clouds as it's like sinking, and it's just like this beautiful like pale red color, and it's awesome. Damn, okay. But so I decided to do that by fasting today. I don't know if that even still counts as fasting, because look at this shit, loaded full of sugar. But I went to Beans and Brews to collect my tips. I started working on getting my passport, because as soon as I move to California, I'm going on a trip to Mexico with my dad and his family. I think I've talked about that too, but yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna fast because like my intention is to cleanse my energy, to have a clear mind. And I have fasted a lot, but it was more of like an eating disorder, like I'm trying to shrink myself way, like in every sense, like symbolically as well, spiritually, everything. But now I'm like, I want to go about this with the right intentions, and like Oni, he fasts, and so I thought about that, and I was like, what are your intentions behind fasting? Because I'm kind of curious as to how I can do that consciously, and possibly in a way that, could even work with my alignment. So it's just like kind of a new thing I want to try out. So I did that today, besides this drink that I just got not too long ago. But I was like, and I had a cup of green tea and everything, and I lit a candle, and like played with some crystals and stuff like that, and talking with Oni for a long time too, just about a conversation that was necessary, so we don't compromise the relationship. I make sure that I'm showing up and I am having integrity to my word and my character as a person, and saying, hey, you matter to me, and showing that he is a priority in my life. So had that conversation, went to the store, got some stuff I need, picked up my tips from Beans and Brews, started on my passport, all while, trying to kind of take my day deliberately, slow in a sense, and having lots of time in bed. But I'm just not really feeling drained right now, and I feel like, honestly, it might come up soon. I think around the Lava Hot Springs trip, because like Wednesday I'm gonna hang out with David again tomorrow, and I think it's just like, if I get some good sleep in, I think I'll be good. And also if I think everything's going to work out. I'm just taking it kind of like a day-to-day basis, you know what I mean? Trying to be very, very respectful of that, because I don't like to get too ahead of myself, and learning to embody with having like a soft, open heart, while also using my like wise, kind of sharp intellect as well, balancing those two out, which has been, it's weird how everything's just working out right now. And I'm like, as soon as I'm kind of accepting all of like these blessings in my life, and how like in tune I am with the divine and like the spiritual right now, and that especially was shown in the tarot reading that I did with David last night. I was like, after this reading, because everything, all the cards were super accurate. And then the last card too, I was like, I'm gonna do one more, and it was, how can I support David? And the card that I got is literally just saying, like, it literally was like, you are not responsible for saving David. And self-care. That was how I could support David, was self-care, was making sure that I give to him out of a space of overflow and not depletion. And I was like, damn. And I just like showed how spiritually in tune I am right now, and I was just so impressed with all of it, and just the fact that all of his readings were accurate. He really resonated with them. It's just like, and it's so cool too, because the card that I got for being like a guide to my like guidance, my like spirit, Mahina, God, the divine, whatever, is, you are the messenger. And I found it fitting that I did that tarot reading, and then just all my interactions today, it's like using that voice and learning to be sacred and sovereign about your own peace and your energy and everything like that, but to also like step into that role as well, and that like you are more ready for it. Like, doubt this institutional plane, and just know like you are capable, girl, like you got this. And wow, I don't know, bro. It's weird. It's like, to feel this like not drained and like here and present and like things are going well and I'm aligned is like very, very new to me. And so I sometimes, like, I wouldn't say I doubt it to the point that I'm like, ugh, but it's kind of just lingering in the back of my mind, like, what's gonna happen? Like, is there gonna be a crash out or something? Because I just have not experienced this. Like, literally last month, like a month and a half ago, I was planning out my suicide in like graphic detail. So it's crazy, excuse me, how quickly I can fall into line with that, because I'm just very spiritually mature. Like, I'm just, especially, I feel like it's a lot of my ancestors too, because of my Hawaiian roots. Like, the Hawaiian people, they have literally got like, the purpose of life, like, the meaning of all of this down for so long. Like, they've had it for so long, and, like, me and One talked about this today too, like, so much of, like, our meaning, like, our deeper meaning of purpose, of passion in life, of knowing who you are, has always been there. It's been there since literally the dawn of time. It's just been distilled and watered down and distorted into this manipulative power play that's says that it's done in the name of love, but it's just not. There's so many different examples of that. Like, you have church organizations and you have politics and even work culture, and it's just like interesting. But yeah, I'm just kind of enjoying my little moment up here. I'm gonna go and see my boyfriend. I want to get some sage to cleanse my room as well. I feel like I'm stepping more into witchy stuff. It was funny because when I did that tarot reading on David, he was like, you're a witch, every time it was accurate. And I was like, you know what? And I just kept responding with like, I'm just very emotionally mature. I mean, spiritually, I'm just very spiritual. But yeah, I would not take it as like a disservice or like an insult to be a witch. Like, okay, let me step into crystals and tarot readings and like obviously be mindful about it, not just like jump all of it into like at once and try and take on everything. Like, no, but it's just something I'm feeling more drawn to lately. So anyway, I think like I'm gonna get some sage, and I also got some Epsom salts as well, because part of my cleansing rituals, I want to take a moment in water as well, and just like while I'm in there and just take a moment to myself, like in the bath, like do some affirmations and just like create this little space for myself. So like light a candle, you know, Epsom salts, like affirmations, listening to some calming music, just saying like I am ready, like I release this energy, I release this pain that isn't mine, that I may be carrying right now. I am present, whatever, and just stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, I'll probably detail it and do some reflecting as well, possibly, if I feel the need to. But yeah, I wanted to share that. And if you did get this far and you watched all the way to the end, thank you once again. You are fucking awesome, and I love you so much.